afternoon, everybody. So welcome. This is lunchtime chair yoga. So we're going to do 30 minutes of chair yoga. Now we're going to start with some warming up, do all the joints, and then we'll do some standing balance work. If your chair has rollers on the bottom of it, and you can lock those rollers down, that's going to be the best way to go about that. If you've got like this is my dining room chair, which I probably say every single time, but in case, this is my dining room chair, which is pretty sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. So this is a good choice, or any chair that you have at your house, a folding chair, anything you've got, as long as it's relatively sturdy, and when you put some weight on it, like when we're standing up, it won't slide out from underneath you. So that's the idea. So just get a chair that's sturdy and stable. And then we're gonna, like for me, I have to slide a little bit forward to get my feet all the way onto the floor. And then you're gonna just find kind of the position where it feels like your pelvis is neutral. And then your spine just gently lifts up out of that neutral space. Let your shoulders relax to the degree possible. We may have been spending a lot of time on the computer today, so it's just an opportunity to feel the shoulders relax down the back. Now I like to rest my hands on my thighs. This mudra where you put your palms down, this is called the mudra of calm abiding. And it's a great mudra or hand position when you want to sort of center yourself, or you're feeling a little scattered, or a little like the mind is really active. If your mind feels a little dull, or you feel a little sleepy, then doing the opposite, putting the palms up, even bringing one or more of the fingers together, can be a great way to sort of energize the mind a little bit. It's a weird thing to do, to put your palm up like that. And so it makes your mind pay a little bit more attention, your brain wake up a little bit. So choose the one that's right for you. For me, in the middle of the day, usually getting a chance to center is best. And then we're going to notice the breath, and we're just noticing the breath as it is. Notice how the inhale feels like the diaphragm pulls down. You can feel kind of a bounce against your pelvic floor, and then notice the exhale sensation. Everything kind of floats back up where it goes. I like the feeling where, like, as my diaphragm kind of pulls down and my ribs expand, just kind of slightly widening of my torso with the in-breath. And lighter, kind of, and everything coming back to the midline for the exhale. You can use lots of different adjectives to describe the way it feels to breathe, but just notice the way it feels to breathe. That's the most important part. So we're just pausing. A couple more rounds. So relax all the skin across your forehead and the muscles around your eyes. And then we're gonna, you can open the eyes if you like. We're gonna drop the chin down toward the chest and try not to lean forward. If you can, keep your spine in the neutral position. Then we're gonna roll the head up and over one shoulder and go nice and slow so that you feel this first one out. Come back to the center. We're gonna go right over the other side. So we're just gonna go side to side. Now, a couple things sometimes happen. Sometimes my shoulders lift up to try to help me out here. I'm gonna try to keep my shoulders relaxed. And then I'm also gonna maybe notice that there are some spots along the way in my neck that are a little more sensitive than others. And so go slow enough that you are able to move through sensitive areas gently. But also, if it feels nice to you to have a little bit more rhythm to that movement, a little more pep, that's fine as well. So we're just going to go back and forth about 3 more times. And I like to try to notice the tight spots, because I'm going to come back to those in a minute. Well, in a few seconds. However long it takes. One more time for me. Okay, so I'm I'm noticing that there's more sensation on the right side of my neck, so I'm going to go for that one first. So I'm going to roll my head over to the left, so my right side is stretching out. And I'm just going to find the spot that feels the most sensitive. Right now it's a muscle that comes right here, near the back of my neck. And then I'm going to hang my arm down, and I might shift the shoulder back and forth a little bit to find that stretch. And then I'm just sort of letting my arm sort of reach a little bit down, not too intensely, just enough to feel that stretch happening in my neck. Now, within a couple breaths usually, and this happens commonly for me, my neck has sort of softened and I don't feel that sensation. So now I'm going to move my chin down a little bit and see what happens if I change the stretch. So we're going to take 2 more breaths with whatever we're up to. All right, so now I'm going to bring my chin back to the center, nice and easy. Put my hand back in my lap, and then I'm going to float my head back up. And I just want to see what happened. And so I'm noticing the sensations all along the sides of the neck. I'm noticing if there's any sensations that move up into my skull. And then also the sensations that go down the arms and into the shoulder. So there's a lot of really tiny little muscle groups in the upper body, lots of overlap of those muscle groups, and that can create some stickiness and some tenderness. So just being sensitive to that. So I'm going to drop my chin back because I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to do my other side. So I'm going to let my head roll over to the right, and again I'm just going to see if I can find where's the most sensitive area on my left side. So for my left side, it's a little bit more forward than it was on my right side, a little more towards the front of this. So I'm going to, again, drop my left arm out to the side. And again, I'm going to just adjust the shoulder blade and see if I can find anything that feels a little more interesting. It's all pretty much the same. So I'm just going to let my arm hang there, reach a little bit, and let my head rest. And if this is too spicy, back off of it. Like, put your arm back in your lap. You don't have to do it both ends. You don't have to pull, right? And I'm not pulling with my hand also. Sometimes, but not now. And so I'm going to make one little change, again, just because the sensation's shifted. And usually there's more than one spot that's in an area. Good. So take one more breath. All right, so I'm going to let my chin return to the center. I'm going to put my hand back in my lap, and then I'm going to float my head up. All right, so just noticing the neck, noticing the shoulders, and my shoulders feel a little bit more like they're even. Like it was a little bit tighter on the right side. Now it feels a little more even on both sides. It's feeling kind of nice. So I'm going to let my arms dangle again, and we're going to work a little bit with the shoulders. Now, we're going to bring the shoulder blades, those bones that are on the back, we're going to bring those as far forward as we can. Arm bone's going to shift because it's attached, but we're going to bring the shoulder blades as far forward as we can. Then we're going to scoop them up as high as we can, and as you get to the top, you can't go any further, you're going to draw the shoulder blades together and then pull them down your back. Scoop them forward, pull them up, bring them together, and bring them down your back. So we're making as big a circle as we can make, and the arms are just along for the ride. What I'm really trying to do is move from the level of my shoulder blade. And if you don't move from the level of your shoulder blade very often, this will be interesting. Do your best. Sometimes my hair gets stuck in my armpits, and when that happens, I will change it. So just a heads up. Don't follow that part. Okay, so we're going to come around. Now when we get to the bottom where we're getting the shoulder blades as depressed, as low in the back as we can, we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to squeeze them together, bring them up tall, shift them forward, and then scoop them around to the back. Bring them together, bring them up high, shift them forward, and we're going as low as we can go here in the front. Okay, and then we're going to swoop them around to the back, bring them up high, shift them forward, scoop them down, up and around. I'm letting my body just go with me on this so I can get the biggest range of motion possible. Scoop them around one more time. So up as high as they can go. Bring them as far forward as they'll go. Bring them down the sides and around to the back. Good. All right. Oh, that feels so nice. So we got one more thing to do while we're here. We're going to hunch the shoulder blades up as high as we can and drop them. Hunch them up as high as you can, drop them. Hunch them up as high as you can, drop them. Oh, one more. Hunch them up as high as you can, drop them. Good. All right, so we're going to move the arm bones. And we're just gonna make some circles. So we'll do like relatively big circles, whatever circle size you can make, given the size of your room and your rotational ability, right? Like whatever your body says is, yeah, we can make that size circle. And then the other direction. Sometimes injuries in the shoulder make it so that the range of motion in your arm bone is not as big. So a couple more of those. One more. Beautiful. So now we're gonna take the arm and just like do one at a time. We're just gonna shake the right one. Good. Now you're gonna hold your right arm out about level with your shoulder, and we're gonna make a teeny tiny little circle. And you're trying to move right in the shoulder joint. Trying to find those muscles that really suspend that arm. Try not to tighten up around your neck. Go the other direction. Oh, can you feel the muscles on the top of your shoulder that are helping you do this? Oh, they're tiny, but ooh, it's powerful. All right, shake that arm out. Oh, that felt good. All right, out to the side on the other side. And again, we're gonna make teeny circles. Try to move right here at the level of the shoulder. And notice there's a difference. Like, is one shoulder a little different than the other? I prefer to sleep on one side than the other. Pause, go the other direction. So I usually have an imbalance. There's a lot of time spent curled up on one side. I'm a side sleeper. Okay, shake that arm out. Shake that arm out, that limb. Shake that guy out. Oh, all right, so then both, again, we're gonna do the wrists. So you're gonna circle your wrists. And then go the other direction. Now, I love this circular movement, but I also like to do a different kind of movement. So we're gonna lace the fingers together like that, turn it sideways, and then you're gonna try to make a wave as smooth as you can. So see how the wrist goes through that shape and that shape? That's what we're after, okay? So we're gonna circle, or wave. And then we're gonna wave the other direction. Don't think about it too much because you'll trip yourself up. Okay, so you get this kind of flex and point, flex and point, flex and point as a fluid movement. Now we're gonna hold a stretch. So you're gonna stretch the hand out, you're gonna spread out your fingers as big as you can, and then you're gonna take this other hand and gently ease the hand back. Now, if there's anything that feels sharp or pinchy, don't do that. We're just gonna give this a nice stretch, and we should, generally speaking, we're gonna feel this stretch on the bottom of the arm, right? Pull your thumb back as best you can. Okay, now we're gonna do the top part. So we're gonna take the hand and just kind of bring it as far around the back as you can. I put a thumb right there because I don't need to squeeze the joints as much. I'm trying to get a tug in these muscles. It's only so effective because there's a joint there. There's like a ton of little bones in this area. Okay, but a little bit of stretch there is nice. Now you can also give yourself a little massage down the top of your forearm. So kind of feeling this out. And look for the little muscly places, right? So there's a little ropey muscle down the top of the arm. Get that guy. And if you feel around, you'll feel there's kind of a little divot right here, and then get to the muscle that's on the other side of that divot that goes right up here to this elbow. Okay, give that guy just a little massage. I'm just going cheek, cheek like that with my fingertips. So we're just releasing tension out of the forearm, especially if you've been on the computer all morning. And then I've come over here to the side, and I'm kind of pinching that in between my hand. You know, finger and base of my palm. Okay. And then I'm just gonna do a little friction up and down my forearm. So the muscles that control the thumb and the fingers live here, okay, in the forearm. And when we spend time over the computer with our thumb over a mouse or on the phone, the thumb forward position can put a lot of pressure in the hand and in the thumb. So when we do these movements in a second, where we're spreading the fingers out, we're gonna try to get the thumb to come as far back as we can to help relieve some of that pressure. All right, let's do the wrist on this side first. So spread your fingers out nice and wide, grab the top of your hand, give yourself a little stretch. And again, I'm just going for this, and sometimes where my arm bone is positioned can change the way it feels. Pull your thumb back as best you can. Oh, it's not easy sometimes. And then we're gonna do the other side, give the top of the arm a little bit of a stretch. And you can kind of see the way the muscle goes. So there's one. So look at the way the muscle works in your forearm. And then we're gonna give those guys a little bit of a massage. So I'm gonna massage down this muscle. and all along the inside of my arm. Oh, just relieve pressure. Now I'm right-handed, so this is my side that I need more of this on because I use my right hand for more of this. And then I'm going to get into this little divot right there and massage right in that area. If there's any sensitivity here, you can spend a little bit longer. I'm coming over here to the side and giving the side part of my forearm a little bit of a massage. All right, and then I'm just going to do some friction all up and down, bottom side, around the edge, to the top. And it's just to help relieve tension from this, from the hands, okay? So now we're gonna spread the fingers out as big as you can, like lightning bolts are shooting out of your fingers big. But see if you can get your thumbs to come backwards as far as possible. And then we're gonna curl the fingers in. You can curl the thumbs in too, but you don't have to if that's tender. So open up, see how big you can get the thumbs and the fingers to move away from each other. I also concentrate on these two little ones because they tend to hang with each other. And then squeeze in. Good, and then spread out. So I'm really pulling that pinky finger and my thumb backing out, right? So I'm getting, the middle ones kind of can go along for the ride a little bit more. They're already a little bit more, a little less sensitive right now, right? So if I've been on my computer a lot, it usually lands, especially around the thumb. All right, so give your fingers a little jiggle out. And you can come back to that little thing, movement in the wrist, massaging the forearms, opening up the hands and stuff periodically, especially if you're having to spend way more time on a computer or a device than you're used to. All right, so let's get to the center of the body. So I'm gonna slide forward on my chair, so a little bit of room behind me. Now, I've tilted my pelvis forward, so it's like I'm trying to dump the contents of my pelvis out through the front. But I've also lifted my breastbone and pulled my shoulder blades back. Collarbone's nice and wide. So this is the cobra. And then if I go back, oh, that's the Halloween cat or the cat, okay? And I'm letting my pelvis tilt the other way. So the back of the pelvis is tilting down, and then I'm rounding my back a bit, okay? So you're just moving through these two shapes, cobras and cats. Oh, I don't know that they normally go together, but in chair yoga they do. So rounding back, and then open up and lift that breastbone up as you tilt that pelvis forward. Oh, it just feels so nice. So we'll do two more of these, starting with that cobra. There's one. And then our second one. Oh, doesn't that feel just like, oh, I like that feeling. This one's nice too. All right. So then sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna have the knees a little on the wide side, and then we're gonna do this little rotation. Now you can hold your arms up, but we're not doing this. I'm not swinging my arms. I'm twisting from the ribs. The arms happen to be attached. So twist from your ribs. Good. Good, so we're gonna pause on one side. So just sit down into your sit bones, lift up your breastbone, see how far around to that side you can twist, and some people can grab the outside of this leg. I'm gonna put my hand right here, and then I'm gonna reach around and grab the outside of my chair so I can pull my shoulder blades slightly down while I'm twisting, because it feels nice. There's a little bit more release in the upper back muscles where I tend to carry a lot of stress and tension. All right, coming out of there, little washing machines. Ooh. Just to kind of release. And you can also do little, like, just little forward, backward rib movements, side to side rib movements, just to keep that fluid going as the spine adjusts. All right, so then we're gonna take ourselves over to the opposite side. And again, I don't wanna lean off my hips. Keep your hips nice and stable. Sit up tall, twist, and wherever you land is where you land. On one side, it's easier for me to twist than it is on the other side. So it's a little harder to grab my chair. I'm gonna grab it just so I can get my shoulder blades kind of down. I'm gonna put this hand right on the inside of there. You might be holding on to that outer part of your leg. That's fine too. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Sit up taller, take one more breath. And then we're gonna release that. And so notice how you still feel like you're twisting that way. So that's the discs themselves. Fluid moves through our discs. And when we sit at a chair for a really long time, I'm gonna exaggerate this posture because that's probably not really how you sit. But you know, like I find myself when I'm working on my computer with my head kind of reaching into the computer because I'm trying to get in there deeper. And so it's just a matter of like noticing that might be creating a situation where the disc has an imbalance in the fluid, right? So when we sit up tall and our spine is in neutral, the disc is balanced. But when we fold forward, or we fold back, or we fold sideways, or we twist, the fluid gets distributed differently. And so from time to time, it'd be good, if you're sitting for long periods of time, to change it up. So, I've got nice wide legs, and I'm turning to one side a little bit so I can side bend, and then I'm going to turn the other way and side bend up, okay? So this is the, little side to side movement. Some people refer to this movement as the blown palm. So if you can see that imagery in your head. Whoosh, bring your palm fronds over to the other side. And one more time. Now, I'm going to go back to that first side that I did, which is this leg. I'm going to pause right here. Now, I'm going to take this leg and bring it out. And so I'm kind of repositioning myself into a side angle pose. You can leave this leg where it was, okay? But this gives me a chance to kind of stretch this part of my hip out a bit if my chair will cooperate. So I'm pulling this thigh behind me just a little bit. Make sure there's nothing pinchy or funky in your hip socket. And my elbow is super light. I'm just holding myself here so I can push into that leg to get a little more leverage to open up right there in the front of my belly. So the side angle pose is one of my favorites. If it's not yours, you can skip it. That's the brilliance of you doing yoga at your house. Nice big breath. Oh, and then we're coming up and we're gonna bring this thing together. Now feel how there's a difference, right? Again, fluid movement in the spine. So we're gonna give it a little shimmy, a little jiggle, and then we're gonna go the other way. So I've got my legs like this. I'm gonna put my elbow here on my thigh, and then I'm gonna sneak this guy out and a little bit behind so that I can get this kind of sense of the side angle pose. And then I'm gonna reach with my core. My elbows here, I have something to balance on and something to press against. And we give ourselves that really nice long, stretch right there. If you want to take the arm out of it, you can take the arm out of it. For me, it just gives me that extra bit of length through the side waist and up through my armpit and through the back of my arm here, which is really nice. Take one more big breath. And then we're gonna come on back. Bring this thing together. And then I'm gonna scoot pretty far forward on the chair. So I've got a pretty good amount of space behind me. We're gonna take one leg and pick it up. If you can't pick your leg up, don't worry about it. Come up onto your tiptoe, and you're gonna work with your leg just like that. That's gonna be your rock the baby. If you can get hold of your leg, pick it up. Give it a little rock. We're gonna see if you can bring the leg across the top of the thigh. Other options include across the front of the shin, okay? So if the leg wants to come up here and there's no trouble with your knee, then do that. You can flex the foot to help hold the lower leg bone stable in the knee joint. That helps. And then if there's room, fold forward. And we're looking for a stretch kind of on the outer hip. You might feel it in the glute. You might feel it along the side. You might even feel it in your inner thigh. So these muscles work together to create this shape. So where you feel it is not necessarily the same for everyone. Feels good though. Hopefully it feels good, as long as your knee doesn't yell at you. And I wish knees spoke English so it would say, you know, this is right on the edge, Candy. Back off a bit. But my knee doesn't do that. I have to just learn the hard way. So we're gonna inhale, come on back. Now I'm gonna grab my big toe, but that's not available to everybody. So you can grab the back of your thigh and extend your leg up. Okay, so we're gonna stretch out the back of the thigh. I'm gonna get up nice and tall as I can, given the circumstances. It's exciting. Good, so now I'm gonna grab my leg and bend it, and then I'm gonna spin my foot in circles. And then go the other direction. And then point and flex. Okay, so we're gonna release this down, go to a little shake out, and then we're gonna do the other side. So pick up your other leg or come up onto the tiptoes. We're gonna rock it back and forth. Okay, see if it'll cross. And again, if not up here, down there. Again, you can flex the foot, sit up nice and tall, see if your pelvis will tilt forward a little bit. So it's almost like we're coming back to that cobra. Not the emphasis on the upper body so much, but all kinds of emphasis in this lower body. Whee! Take a nice deep breath, yogis. Two more. You're doing good. Slightly spicy, slightly salty pose. Then we're gonna come up, we're gonna let that leg go. We gotta either hold on to the back of the thigh and extend that leg for the hamstrings, or we're gonna hold on to the big toe if it's available. Some days that's spicier than others. It feels kind of good. Bend your knee, extend the leg, see how that feels. I'm pulling my foot back a little bit so I get my calf muscles too. That's way spicier. All right, so last breath. And then we're gonna release that leg. Ooh. Give ourselves a little jiggle. Now, we're gonna do the rest of our class standing up. So again, secure your chair, and I'm gonna secure my hair, because both of those are important. So that I don't get my hair stuck in my armpit standing up. All right, now, we're gonna stand beside the chair. I'm gonna bump my chair a little bit this way, just so I have a little bit more room in the screen here. And we're gonna do some little toe stretches. Now, not everyone can do these, and you're gonna do your best. So if you can't get up onto your toes, you're gonna just do this part. Just lift the upper body, okay? So the chair is here. If I feel like I'm gonna lose my balance, I've got that to help. So we're gonna try to lift onto the tiptoes, stretch up, and come back down. Lift up onto the tiptoes, reach up, come back down. Lift up onto the tiptoes, reach up. We're gonna do it twice more. Come back down. Lift up, reach, come back down. Now this one we're gonna see if we can hold it. This is where you could put a hand on the chair if you need to. See if you can hold this for 5, 4, 3, reach a little higher, 2, a little higher, 1. Come on down. Nice job, yogis. Now we're gonna do a little bit of downward dog on the chair. I'm gonna use the base of the chair. If your chair is kind of low, you can also use the top of the chair. So I'm gonna put my hands on the base, walk my hips back, and stretch back. Now, my hands are about shoulder distance apart. You can open that a little wider or a little less wide, depending on your circumstances. Oh, I like to rock my hips back and forth because, oh, that feels nice. See how it works for you. A little extra glute stretch, a little extra leg stretch with that rock. Okay, pull back, and then we're gonna come forward. Now, we're gonna use the base of the chair or the top of the chair. I'm gonna take one leg back. So this is my right leg, okay? I'm gonna keep my right hand on the chair, and I'm liking the bottom. It's a little more sturdy than the top for me, but yours might be opposite. Reach your left arm out. So we're doing this nice balance here. Hold steady, yogis. If you can't do it with the arm, keep the arms on the chair and just do the leg. Okay, we got one more breath. Beautiful, come on back down. We're gonna walk it back out to that downward dog. Come back, oh, nice big stretch. Maybe wag your tail. Oh, that feels good. Oh, y'all. Okay, so we're gonna walk it back together. Hands on the base of the chair for now. Left leg goes up. Keeping my left hand here, I'm gonna do a fist. And then my right arm out, okay? Reach between those 2 points. This is a great strengthener for the core. It's a balance challenge, and it feels good. You feel like, oh, draw that waist up and in there, y'all. Remember those jeans from the 70s? You had to zip all the way up to your nipples. Do those. Zip it up. One more breath. And then bring it on down. We didn't have spandex in the 70s, young people. Walk it back. Oh, well, not in jeans anyway. Oh, that didn't come till the 80s. All right, yogis, we got one more to go. And this is a straight up balance pose. So we're gonna do a tree, and I'm gonna have the chair just here in front of me in case things go awry. I'm gonna stand on my right leg first and bring my left leg up, and then I'm going to see if I can balance. And again, I can put my hand here to catch, if necessary, But a better choice is to drop your foot to the ground, because that is a body memory. The chair won't always be there when you lose your balance in life, but your foot will, unless something happens very serious. So we're going to shift the weight into the left leg, bring the right leg up into that tree shape. Looks like this maybe. You can go higher, a little lower also. And then whoop, whoop, balance. Sometimes one side's a little steadier than the other. And steady is not really what we're working on. What we're working on is balancing in the wobble. That's our practice. Right on? So we got 2 more breaths. Last one. Good. Bring it down. So taking a moment and feel. Coming back around to the front. I'm going to take 1 more minute together just to pause. Now, at the beginning, we paused with the breath. So let's come back home to that. Is the breath different? What about the overall sense of your body? Does it feel a little more alive? We spent 30 minutes paying attention to it. Hopefully that was a nice 30 minutes. So yogis, thank you so much for joining me for chair yoga, for a little chair yoga lunch break. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow at lunch. Namaste.